Hi, Filmatics. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have a very special guest, Mark Berry. He's a music, film, and television producer from AMG Corp, AMG Visuals, and he was founded by multi-platinum producer engineer. AMG was founded by Mark S. Berry, and he's an international record producer, engineer, and mixer. And he has done amazing production, engineering, and remixing for talents that has earned him 36 international gold and platinum records for notable Grammy and Juno nominated musical icons like David Bowie, Duran, yes, Boy George, Billy Idol, Kool and the Gang, Carly Simon, Joan Jett, and so many more. Let's welcome Mark Berry from AMG to the show today.
Hi, Marilyn. How are you today?
Hi, Mark. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
And where are you? Can you let our guests know where you are recording with us live today from?
Right now, I'm in Toronto, Canada, which is where I'm American. I'm originally born in Massachusetts, raised in Brooklyn, New York, and about 30 years ago, I came to Toronto, Canada. My lawyer, Paul Schindler, represented a Canadian rock band, and I did a record with the bass player, and it was a successful recording, and I just kept coming back and forth, and finally I just wound up staying here, and I've been here 33 years.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to get to because you told me in London, weren't you a T-boy or what was it called?
I started out as I didn't want to go to Vietnam back in the day, so I went to the Institute of Audio Research in Manhattan, on University Place, right by Washington Square Park. And my junior and senior year, I learned how to become an audio engineer. The day after I graduated from high school, I got on an airplane and went to London, England. I had all my favorite, studios written down for my favorite records, from Led Zeppelin to Elton John, and that's what I did. I just walked the streets of London, pounded on doors, and I was the luckiest kid in the world. I got a job with Sir George Martin, who produced all the Beatle records. So he was my mentor for 2 years, and my whole career literally started in London, England, working with Paul McCartney and Carly Simon. You're So Vain was my very first credited recording as an engineer, and Electric Light Orchestra, and just tons of great acts.
Oh my gosh, Electric Light Orchestra. I love that. ELO. I was in Italy when that was on. Such a great dance song. But
I did the Roll Over Beethoven record.
And so, Sir Simon from the Beatles, you landed a job in London as a kid fresh out of New York College. And wow, what was it like? Like the studio, was it big? Was it kind of small?
Yeah, it was Air Studios, which was owned by 4 producers, of which George Martin was one of them. Ron Burgess was another. Peter Sullivan. Peter Sullivan produced Tom Jones. Ron Burgess did Petula Clark, and George Martin did the Beatles, and they all just kind of pooled their resources, and they built this studio called Air, which is at the top floor of Oxford Circus. And my job was initially just, I was a T-boy. I got tea, coffee, cigarettes, whatever you wanted. I swept the studio floor, rolled up the mic cables after the session, put the mics away, emptied the ashtrays. That's what you did. But you got to sit in the room with Sir George Martin and Bill Price and Jeff Emmerich for 16 hours a day. So it's like, holy shit, my God, this is like, I'm 18 years old.
Oh my God. Was there anything funny, like any funny stories you can share? Because everyone, they're like, Sir, holy moly, you were with Sir Martin and all those guys. Like, what kind of tea did they like? Was it green tea?
No green tea back then.
Really?
No green tea. English tea. English breakfast tea.
English breakfast tea. I have some English breakfast. Did you have to make it, or did you went to
I had to make it. They had a whole kitchen there, and it was upstairs above on the second floor, and I'd go up and I'd make tea and coffee. Just like a runner. And
wow.
And then they say, okay, hey, so Jeff's not coming in today. You're at the console. Next thing you know, you're at the console, working the console, and you go, holy shit,
Oh my god, that is amazing. So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought it was so amazing, like a T-boy. So I want to ask you, now, growing up, what was one of your favorite movies? Or if you have a couple, it's okay too.
Back in the '70s, it was I think Serpico.
Oh yeah.
The Al Pacino movies. And then growing up, the Godfather. That was like I can watch that every day for a year, and still see different stuff in it every time I see it. Right?
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And you also like all The Sting and All the President's Men too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. These were great. These were great movies. Really well acted movies. Incredible direction from these very, very, maybe at the time not so famous directors, but they, their body of work now speaks for themselves.
Yeah, the 70s had some really amazing films. So different from the style today with all this, the CGI and all that kind of thing. And
Uh-huh.
and I think we had original scripts, more original scripts with meat and heart back then instead of like
I think they had great storylines, great hooks for sure. Sting. I mean, that's like the ultimate story hook.
Yes, yes. And so I got to ask you, so what is one of your favorite Criterion movies?
My favorite what?
Criterion movies.
Sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
Criterion movies.
Oh, period movies.
Criterion movies.
Yeah.
We're having a little a sound issue, so let me see if I got Mark back. Yes, Mark, do I have you?
Back. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Spielberg, right? You like Spielberg, right?
Spielberg's great. He's one of the greatest directors of all time. And he continues to have make great movies.
Yeah, and so and also speaking of it, one of your favorite directors, can you share a little bit of your favorite director and film shot?
Probably Scorsese and Goodfellas. Coming from Brooklyn, I kind of knew that crew. So certainly the one of the greatest scenes that he put together was Do you think I'm funny with Joe Pesci? Like I'm amusing to you. You think I'm a joke? Meanwhile they're just telling jokes, but Pesci's pranking Ray Liotta, saying, "Oh, you're laughing at me. You think I'm a joke now." And then they finally say, "Okay, yeah, you're messing with me. Come on." But yeah, I grew up with all these characters. I grew up in a predominantly Jewish Italian neighborhood in Brooklyn, so a lot of these characters were very familiar with me.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was the clothing too? Like, did they really wear all that kind of style?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You talking to me now? I'm Italian, so like, my mom's brother is kind of like, he's always playing chess with a group of guys. They all have these fedora hats, and like, and
Right.
and he's kind of like the dom of the little small town. And so like, as soon as they see like where their American cousins, I was like, oh, can we have you ice cream? We can give you ice cream or something like that. You're like, oh, this is so cool. No one's gonna bother us
Right.
while we want.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm from Sheepshead Bay, Coney Island area, so it's we had the Italian mob in Sheepshead Bay. We had the Russian mob in Brighton Beach, and it was just like
Oh my
they were like
god.
they were all around me all day long.
Oh yeah, you got it. And back in Italy, like you had to pay them. And I remember my mom was telling me, it's like someone had a wedding and they had like a Ferrari, right? Is it the beautiful couple has a nice Ferrari for the wedding, and like they didn't pay the like quote unquote mob, and then like their Ferrari was gone. So
Yeah.
so they ended up
That's what
with,
happens.
yeah, and you're like,
That's what happens when you don't pay your bills.
oh my god, when you make money, like it's like knock knock, we want some of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So let's see what else. Some fun stuff. So you told us how you started with Sir George Martin, the Beatles producer at Air Studios in London. So then after 2 years, what happened? Did you come back to USA or?
Yeah, I came back to New York. I had immigration problems because I was basically, just an assistant engineer, and anyone could have done that. So I had immigration problems, but I had a lot of great credits to my name. So I came back to New York, and again, lucky, I got a job at Vanguard Records in 1976, and with Maynard and Seymour Solomon. And Vanguard had this very prestigious jazz, folk, country, rock label called Vanguard Records, and it's I worked there for over 12 years. I was an in-house engineer, producer, mixer. I kind of ran their dance division. I signed Alicia. They allowed me to produce my first recording, and the first record I produced was this girl Alicia from Brooklyn, which was a monster success, with a song called Baby Talk that we did. And I just I kept doing that. And then after that, I went independent, and that's when I started working with Bowie and Duran, and Yes, and Boy George, and Billy Idol, Kool and the Gang, Cameo, all kinds of great acts, just doing independent engineering and mixing.
Oh my gosh. And I just want to let everyone know, your first credited record as an engineer was You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Like, hello, you just...
Which this month got nominated as one of the top 500 songs of all time by Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh, congratulations, Mark. I mean, just...
It's great, right?
Yeah, your career is amazing. And which leads us to, they're like, oh, well, so I want to can you... Okay, so during COVID, can you share about COVID, like how it affected you, or did it affect you, or like how it changed things around?
COVID
maybe?
didn't really have that big an effect on my business. The streaming networks, Netflix picked up 60 million new subscribers in the past year and a half, 2 years. And, with all those new subscribers, and that's on top of the 185 million they already had. So they needed new programming to keep these subscribers paying $14.99 a month. So they allocated $77 billion over the entire year of 2021, and Canada got $2 billion of that for production. And all that production needs music. So we've got a great publishing catalog. We've worked on major films. We're music supervising 4 movies right now. So we have about 5,000 songs in our catalog, which is half owned by BMG Music. They bought 50% of it several years ago. And then we go out and we get the master use and the sync licenses for, if they want a Beyonce track or a Led Zeppelin track or whatever. So we do that as well at the company. That's a completely separate division that we do.
And I love David Bowie. I mean, oh my God, Duran. Hey, do you know Duran and I we're both Scorpios, and I met him at the Four Seasons, and he was so nice to me and so fun. He's like a big kid. Like, he was just so sweet and so nice. Yeah,
great bunch of guys.
Yeah,
he was really working with the major stars. I never really had an asshole, I never, like when I was 18 and I was emptying ashtrays and sweeping the floor after the Live and Let Die, which was like a live 63-piece orchestra, live off the floor with the band performing. So you can imagine how many mics and cables I had to bring down and take down. And as I'm sweeping the floor, Paul McCartney's outside, in the studio where I'm sweeping, and he's playing the piano, and he's like, asking me questions, Mark, hey, Mark, where you from? You're American, da-da-da, I'm from New York. Yeah, we got a house in Manhattan now, and da-da-da. And I talked to him for like an hour and a half. He's like a normal guy, no problems.
That is so
and the
beautiful.
Same with Bowie. Bowie just said, and he invited me to his office, and I said, okay, what are you looking for? What kind of mix you want, da-da-da. And he goes, just do what you do. Like, that's why we hired you. We like your work. Just do what you do. I just said, okay, I'll do what I do.
Oh my gosh, like the Red Shoes. Like, I love the 80s and new wave, and like David Bowie. Let's Dance. I mean, OMG, Let's Dance.
Classic.
I mean, my favorite is new wave. Like, it's like, oh my God, forever I can listen to new wave. And it's like, I'm, aging myself, but I don't care. It was like so awesome to dance to. So much fun. So I just, lots of fun times during David Bowie, Duran. Oh my God. Billy Idol. Oh, come on. A White Wedding. Come on.
Yeah. That's great stuff. And in the 70s, when I came back from England, I was in the heart of the punk rock scene. So I'd hang out at CBGB's, Max's Kansas City, the Palladium. So I was in the thick of it. I was really there.
Did you go to that famous club? What is it like in New York? What was it called? Like the famous one? Like what was that club called? Oh gosh, like like
Well, we
everyone.
had CBGB's, we had Max's Kansas City, which was a great venue to see bands perform in. We had the Palladium on 14th Street, the Mud Club. We had there's tons of great venues around.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so speaking of, so you're doing music, Mark, and then can you share like your AMG visuals that you're like now doing TV
Yeah.
and film? Because you have
So
some amazing projects. Because I have
yeah. So
privy
this
to
is
them.
how we got into the acquisitioning films and getting them released. So I was approached on a movie on a live concert film on Drake, the rap superstar, and I looked at the movie, and it was really well recorded. Sound was great. The visuals were great. It's done in a club in Toronto called Sound Academy, and it was after Drake had finished Degrassi, and he was coming. He was selling his mixtapes, very successful, and he came back to New York. Came back to Toronto, and he did this concert for the home team, right? And so I saw the movie, and I called my lawyer up, Paul Schindler, and Paul's one of the biggest lawyers around. He's got Madonna, Katy Perry, Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, just a great guy, great confidant, been my lawyer for 37 years. And I said, I called him up and I said, I got a movie on Drake. And he goes, yeah, sure, you got a movie on Drake. What'd you get yourself into now, Mark? So he said, send me the paperwork. So I sent him the paperwork, and calls me back 20 minutes later. He says, you got a movie on Drake. Hang on. And before you know it, in 90 seconds, I'm talking to James Prince, who had a record label called Rap A Lot Records, and his son, Jazz, was one of the guys that discovered Drake, and put the deal together with the record label with Slim. So I got the movie. I did with James Prince. I got James Prince on the phone with Paul, and in 10 minutes I had a DVD and I had a broadcast deal. And then I was working on the deal with the AMC theater chain. So I did a deal with AMC Theater. We did 1,400 theaters over 2 nights worldwide, and it was very successful for us. A very successful film for us, So that's when I got the bug and started, acquiring content and, picking up completed films, also helping completed films with music, getting the music side of things sorted out. And then I started working on an output deal. So we put an output deal together with a company here in Canada called Factory Film, run by Michael Patrick Lilly. And we got along great, and we started picking up movies, and that deal, that output deal, is now transformed into a financing deal as well as a distribution deal. So we service about 150 plus digital outlets worldwide, and we also have the world's airlines that we release it to, and we also have hotel VOD as well. So if it's an independent feature and all the E&O is done properly and all the songs are cleared, we have a complete checklist of everything that we utilize, then I can help you get it up and running and get it out. I think people that come to me and want something theatrically today, it's not going to happen. There's $2.5 billion of inventory sitting in the major studios worldwide on film projects that need to get into a theater. So they're just looking for bums in seats at this point, and they're not going to get bums in seats with an independent art house, independent film. So I suggest to everyone, just maybe do the art house one night, in LA, Nashville, Austin, New York, whatever. But you're not going to get a theatrical run on any independent feature now that doesn't have a major studio backing. And besides the fact that there's tons of movies before them that need to come out, that are just sitting there, right?
Yeah, and you have some fantastic projects. Like you have a mini series. Are you allowed to talk or share about a little sneak peek?
Yeah. So we have the television side of things. We have Children of Legends, which is a 60-minute style interview series with the children / young adults of business titans, sports legends, movie stars, singing stars. So we're just putting that deal together. We just signed with Media Ranch, which is a major franchise company out of Montreal. And then we have Let's Eat with the Stars, which is a cooking show. Basically, it's based on stars, male, female, that own restaurants. And they go there and they, you sit down with Michael Jordan and have a meal, or Lady Gaga and have a meal. Yeah, so that's it. That's in development right now. And then we have a show that I'm really excited about, which is called The Track. And it's basically a reality-based series on the horse racing industry. We're going to follow the horse, the trainer, the jockey, the owner's wife, whoever, and turn it into a series and follow these horses, hopefully to a Breeders' Cup, Kentucky Derby, wherever, and just to get help get it up and running. So that's a project that I'm really devoted to right now. And
I love that.
Yeah, and we're now we're acquiring films left, right, and center. Everyone's throwing a lot of movies at us, which we're very excited about because it gets the AMG name out there in the streaming world, and they get their movies out, which would just normally sit there, and they might get a deal, putting it up on Hulu or Roku or whatever, or, and then it might wind up on, YouTube, whatever.
Oh, great. So, yeah, so this is so great. So you're partnering with Factory Film Studio. So if someone wanted to, they would need to go through an agent or manager, right? So if they wanted
Yeah,
to.
we prefer an agent, manager, lawyer, someone that we can trust for getting the movie through the system, and also making sure that all the regulatory hurdles are figured out. The E&O insurance. Every song's got to be clear. Is there a sample in the song? Right. My biggest friggin' nemesis is an old James Brown drum loop in the back of a hip hop song. So we go through that. We use audio DNA, and we just make sure everything's on the up and up. On getting the movie released and nothing come back to bite us.
Oh yeah, this is so amazing. I mean, and Mark, you just do so many wonderful things. I'm so excited for your TV shows, your movies, and your reality shows. I really like The Track a lot. That one sounds really special.
That's a great series. We've got tremendous support from the industry as well to get it up and running and get it out. So they're drugging horses, and that's kind of got a bad rap at the winner of the Kentucky Derby, and then all those horses that broke their legs at that track in California, which turned out to be just a track. How the track was graded. It didn't have the proper grading on it. When these horses, when they're jumping at 100 pounds of pressure on each foot, they were breaking legs left, right, and center. It turned out to be the wrong mixture for the track that they were running in.
And you would think that they would. Yeah, they're a horse race track. Why wouldn't that be something that was done right?
Yeah, when you got horses you're paying $1 million plus for that are trying to run their way into the Kentucky Derby, you got to make sure that the track is proper. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So anything else you want to share with us? Anything that's coming out that you want people to go watch and support? Is there anything that you want them to?
Well, we're getting stuff up and running now for the new year, and we're in the middle of acquisitioning several films, completed. So some that need budgeting and financing. So we're able to, if that filmmaker or director or producer can bring X number of dollars together on $1.5 million budget, let's say, then AMG and Factory has the ability to bring the balance in, bring some funding in. We get the Canadian tax credits, which is 25% back. We've got an exchange rate of 28% today. So, if you come up here and do a $10 million movie, you get an extra $2.8 million just by moving the budget money to Canada.
That's amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So we have that. We have access to gap financing, bank financing, to get projects up and running. And we literally just signed the deal 6 weeks ago. So we're just getting everything organized with the investors right now, and looking to get stuff up and running.
Yeah, and I know you're getting into the kid space, so we'll definitely have to do something with that.
Yeah, we have a project, which is like a Peppa Pig type animation, 2D, 2D type thing, which we're very excited about. We think it's a great story, and we think that the characters, it's the space of this children's animation is massive. Peppa Pig is a $1.6 billion a year franchise. And 50% of that is from merch, selling sippy cups and lunch boxes and backpacks, and it's just incredible. And this Coco Melon, which I didn't even know about. I'm a new grandpa, and I have a granddaughter that's 16 months old, and you got to. My daughter said, "Daddy, you got to see this Coco Melon." Allegra goes crazy. As soon as she hears the downbeat note, she like drops what she's doing and like looks at it. So I investigated it. It's like it's got like 111 billion views on YouTube. I mean, the channel on YouTube generates 121 million dollars annually. Just on the advertising of the YouTube channel. So the numbers are like, holy shit! The numbers are like enormous.
Well, we'll have to make my kids' podcast a YouTube channel, because I need your help musically, because I can't sing or do music. So we'll like, so
I got. Don't worry about the music.
Okay, you got the music.
I got tons of music.
You got rhythm. Yeah. So if you like kids podcasts, do check out Enchanting Book Readings. That's my kids podcast. And
Okay.
I just want everyone to know, we're speaking with Mark Berry, chairman of AMG Corp. And if you want to check out his website, it's www.bmg.com. Your global music distribution is Sony, Universal, Cobalt. Your global promotion partners is dfel.com and
Develop promotion and marketing. We have a label services division for independent artists that come to us and they just made a record and they don't know what to do with it. So we can do Spotify playlisting. We can put it into a movie, TV show, video game, ad agency, movie trailer, whatever. We have digital internet radio. We service over 30,000 radio stations worldwide. We service 168,000 film and TV companies that require music for their programming, and it's very lucrative. If it's not only short-term revenue where they pay you up front, but when they play that show on Netflix 5 years from now in South Africa and Japan and Germany, the writer gets paid. So it's a great source of revenue.
I love it. And they can also check out markberry.com. That's Mark BERRY.com.
Right.
Yeah, Mark, it's such a pleasure having you on the show. So excited to catch up with you. You're doing so many amazing things. And there's one TV show that's the bomb. So you have to stay tuned, because Mark's going to come back next year to talk about his TV show, because I know that one's going to be a knock out of the park. I was going to tell you, it's going to be a little bit, if you like Genghis Khan, right, then you're going to love his show that's in the works.
Right.
Sneak peek.
Right. Yeah, that's in the works too, right?
Yeah. And if you're a scriptwriter or anything, you guys can contact me on my email or Mark. And I just want to thank you so much for being on the show today, Mark.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Always great to work with friends and help them out. And it's great. It's great promo for the company as well. So get it out to the independent world that, hey, we're in the market to sign and put out and finance feature film projects.
Wonderful. And all the information will be in the summary. And I want to wish everyone a happy new year. Stay safe. And thanks for listening, everyone. If you have a second, subscribe, like, and hit 5 stars. And if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mark, so much for being on the show today.
Okay. Take care, Marilyn.